On first down, Wentz. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the... Sack. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Here's Wentz to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
On 2nd down, Johnson knocks him over. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10.
Let's go, 12, let's go. 4 down.
On 1st and 10, Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Eagles have recovered. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Wentz. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. A gain of 32 that time. Well, last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's no quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally. And
bottled up fumble. It's out. It's loose. And the Falcons grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at 27-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations, big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on.
That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley, his second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Falcons are able to show off their quick strike ability. Extra point try good by Gano. And that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Hey, other side, solid, solid. Go, go. Waiting.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 24 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one. And what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football. Let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
Here we go. 120.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now. It's been you too. Great, great. Set.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Gary. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. That's now a 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10.
Super 66. Go.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. Now it's gone. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Goff in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's Goff now on 2nd down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Goff now looking to throw. He's going to let this one go deep. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And out now come the Eagles. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite at that level and not at that age. But I remember
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
Here we go. 20.
Wentz now on 1st down. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here we go.
And on the ground they go with the running back. Good footwork. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles are back within a score. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The
leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. That good for 22 and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, second down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Starting left here.
They pitch it out to Johnson. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On first down, it's Gurley. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
Hey, 76, 76, 76. Set.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Shell. Cordell. Super 66.
Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Here we go.
They'll try the air now with Goff. And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Hey, lift.
Goff now to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 19. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
Well, Brandon, there's no question who they're going to look to on 3rd and long, but you can bet this defense knows that as well, so they're getting blanketed downfield. And this ball winds up being intercepted.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. He's going to fire one deep, middle. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10.
Watch that in. Tight end's right.
After the interception, here's gone. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack.
I know there would be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Here we go, fellas. Here we go. Hey, 4 down.
Out of the gun. Goff. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Jared Goff with his third touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
That's fielded in the end zone. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Wentz now on first down. And his throw is incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
120! Get over there! Go!
Shotgun now for Wentz. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. And the Falcons going to use another timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. This is fielded inside the 5. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And you got to think, if this is anything other than just taking a knee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, they've got enough to talk about at the half. Why do anything else? Just get out of there.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. Now a handoff. Johnson. He finds an opening past the 40. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. So I'm waltzing down Main Street, got an umbrella, just a torrential downpour, and I look over, and this guy's stone-faced wearing a poncho that says, "Don't rain on my parade," and he is just angry. And we got to go. I'll tell you the rest later. Here we go, third quarter. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Here we go. 120.
Now they'll run it on the toss. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Here we go. 180.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Here we go. 120.
From midfield, here's Wentz. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. To throw, it's Wentz. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this area, let's just face it, this offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14.
Here we go. 76.
A shotgun snap for Gone. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Bennett. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Off-play action. Here's Goff. Going up top. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Colby Listenby. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Falcons turn that interception into a touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
DC.
Check 24. Watch 24.
Shift. Maverick Walsh.
On the ground, this is Johnson. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
And that's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's getting a little bit tired from how many times he's carried the ball. But I always think back to what all those old coaches say. The ball's not that heavy. Keep carrying it, kid.
They go to Johnson again. And a solid run down inside the 30. That 2nd down run, a big help. The 7 yards leaves them with just a 3rd and 3 now.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Again, they run with Gurley. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming.
Tight end left. 3 down.
Here we go, Salah. 180.
Back to throw. Goff. And this one is incomplete.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with him.
And Godot's kick is right through. And that will extend their lead even further. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, "Wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys."
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Play action. Now Wentz. Buying time to his left. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And they'll run it here. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
Powering his way forward. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. There have been no struggles here for this crew. I mean, they were up double digits at halftime, and they've just expanded that here in the second half.
And it appears there are no answers from the defensive side. I think right now, if I'm the coordinator, if I'm down on the field, if I'm wearing a hat, I've already thrown it. If it's a visor, it's sailed, right? My game plan is down by my feet right now because nothing I've drawn up appears to be working.
Well, he's going to have to find something right now to stop this offense. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Hey, Shell!
49, check 49, check 49.
Here we go, fellas. Here we go.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. So now on comes the field goal unit. And wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be from 56 yards out. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 46. Working from the gun, Wentz. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That goes for a gain of 31. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Throwing on first is Wentz. And now here is another interception. Picked off inside the 5. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's wrong color shirt.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And Gurley here fumbled it. Gurley fumbles the football. It's loose. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd. Wentz to throw on 2nd down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Credit the tackle there to Jordan Lewis.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a third and about 5.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the past, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
Throwing his Wentz. He's going to fire one deep over the... And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 38. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way. Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. Evades the tackler, and now some space. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They'll run it with Johnson. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. It was Josh Sweat who got him down on the defensive side.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Goff turns and gives to Gurley. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Gurley again here on first down. And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. It's a pickup of 3, and we have now arrived at the 2-minute warning.
Here we go. Lay down. Hey, Mike 51.
On second down, here's Goff. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Things are rocking easy here in the fourth quarter. They've got to feel pretty good about this one. Actually, they've got to feel excellent. Tough loss in the opener. No way they wanted to go 0-2.
I don't want to read too much into it, but psychologically, is there something much bigger about 0-2 than 0-1?
Oh, without a doubt, and here's the biggest one. Guys like you and me, all the media, are going to talk about, well, you know how hard it is to make the playoffs when you start 0-2, and that starts to work its way through a team.
And now they're working towards 1-1. The Eagles' offense now gets set to head back onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here we go. Blue 80.
On second down, here's Wentz. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 39. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here.
Let's go, 12, let's go.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Again, it's Johnson. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Atlanta, they make amends for their Week 1 loss by winning their home opener. And they'll get another home date next week as the Saints will come to town. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Washington. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.